Fear is the most elegant weapon. Your hands are never messy. Threatening bodily harm is crude. Work instead on minds and beliefs. Play insecurities like a piano. Force anxiety to excruciating levels or gently undermine the public confidence. Panic drives human herds over cliffs. An alternative is terror-induced immobilization. Manipulation is not limited to people. Economic, social, and democratic institutions can be shaken. It will be demonstrated that nothing is safe, sacred, or sane.
I would define fear as a feeling that suffocates me, and it's a feeling that makes me want to cry.
A constant black cloud that looms over your life. For me, fear manifests itself as anxiety.
It's that thing that stays in your mind, and you think of it when you try and take any actions.
Has the capacity to destroy, to hurt, to change the status quo.
The loss of control. I don't think maybe we don't have good enough words to describe the various fears that we have.
I think of fear as a spectrum of reactions to something that's a perceived threat or danger. Fear is a response that we've had evolutionary from the very beginning because it helped the species survive. There's danger, fight, flight, get away from it.
I've been in situations where they have pointed a gun at my head and they were trying to steal my car, for example, and that was shocking. I was lucky enough to get away from that, but that's one of the things that every single time I'm around that place, I try to avoid.
Really scared that I might be robbed in the bus, or especially when I leave the bus. It's happened in the past.
I was 5 or 6, living in Denver, Colorado, in Littleton with my family when Columbine happened. It was kind of the first time my parents sat my brothers and I down and explained to us that this could happen in a school.
Crime. More specifically, I would say human trafficking. Stories on the news, you hear stories everywhere of people getting abducted and being made to do God knows what.
It has been a year since the big earthquake here in Mexico City. Sometimes I go to sleep and I start thinking, what if I die today? And it's something that really keeps me up.
Humans are unique in the fact that we can think about our own demise. We know we're all going to die. We just don't know when or how or under what conditions and all that, and that's hugely anxiety producing. There's always been a notion of security. There's always been, how do we protect ourselves or our community? I think that it's just not as clear whom we should be protecting ourselves from.
It would be a surveillance cameras or technologies stuff, because I heard that it could be easily hacked, and I am afraid that someone might be watching me right now.
Artificial intelligence can go two ways. It can be a great possibility that they create artificial intelligence to do some awful things.
Stuff like my digital footprint, that sort of thing. Now, like, legally, anybody gets in a case and the first thing they do is like pull up every email that they've ever written.
My relationship, and everybody's relationship with technology, with your phone, with your laptop. I think particularly with your phone, I've noticed myself that I'm just checking my phone so much more often, and I have no idea what I'm looking for.
The rate of technology as it's rapidly changing to the point where we're like mid-level millennials, where we've been in both like analog and digital world. For my kids, one of the first things that they've experienced is this phone that can search anything.
New technologies that we have give us lots of wonderful things, but a lot of times what comes along with them are a lot of new fears. Our increased knowledge gives us more things to actually become worried about as being fearful to.
We're able to see all of the different types of personalities online, and because obviously you can be slightly more anonymous online, people are more forthcoming with their opinions, which is always quite scary.
This is my major concern currently. I've been reading about it, and this is the weather, the climate.
News like sensationalism is another big one for me. I'm more afraid of what the impact of a headline can do than the actual headline itself.
Fake news of 2017.
Basically, for me, the news. Constantly, every single day in Mexico is news reporters were killed, 73 people found dead on the street.
Anxiety is ramped up, and that's slightly different, and that's in the sense the generalized anxiety, right? The anxiety that you can't quite pin on anything.
Back to like global politics, the doomsday clock probably getting closer to midnight.
This feeling of intolerance, like I don't have data to support it, but I do feel that some intolerant speeches are getting stronger. So
See the hatred on people's faces and the polarization, that feels different.
And so I think it's kind of a problem that people aren't being challenged on their own viewpoints now, and I'm afraid of people just like polarizing even more than they already are.
If I was completely fearless, I would speak my mind.
I feel like it's a base fear that I have, is that we're going to lose our humanity. We're going to lose being able to just communicate with one another and see each other as humans. And it's just going to be constantly othering people and making us versus them categorizations.
If you have a group of people who are like-minded or think similarly about something, already have an idea, a fear, and they're talking to each other about it, right? That fear gets amplified, and not just amplified in terms of louder and bigger and going to more places, but it becomes more extreme. There are groups who actively can benefit from fear and do.
Try to produce perceived fears in individuals for them to act in a certain outcome to reduce those fears.
It's easier to get a handle on stranger danger and to act against that than the danger within us.